Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Will and welcome to Copper Jacket TV. So a little bit of a late video today, but I've got some major breaking 2A news coming out of the state of California today in regards to AB 1127, also known as the quote-unquote Glock ban. So stay tuned. Now, real quick before we get started, if you believe that shall not be infringed actually means what it says, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free, it only takes a second, but it really does help us out here quite a bit. It helps us spread our message, and it lets the powers that be know that people want to see content like this. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. Now, for anybody that hasn't heard of AB 1127, maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it, this is the bill out of the state of California that would essentially ban all Glocks. This would remove them from the roster. They would no longer be available in the state anymore unless you're one of the exempted special classes of people like law enforcement or government officials. Those would be the only people that would be allowed to get them in the future. It doesn't ban the current ownership of them, so if you already have one, you can keep it type of deal. But again, it bans it in the future. You would not be allowed to get one in the state of California under AB 1127. Now, AB 1127 has been flying through the process. It flew through the assembly, it made it all the way through all the committees, and then was voted on by the assembly floor, where it was then sent over to the Senate, where it again was flying through the Senate committees until it reached August 18th, where it was placed on the suspense file. And I told you guys that they had 2 weeks to determine what they were going to do with all of the items that were placed in the suspense file. Now, the suspense file was part of the Senate Appropriations Committee. It is the last committee before the bills would make it to the Senate floor for a vote and then up to the governor's desk. Well, earlier today, we got a little bit of good news. We found out, actually through, I believe it was Mom's Demand, who usually has about a dozen or more people actually in the room when these things are being voted on, put out a press release saying that the Senate Appropriations Committee failed to pass AB 1127, and they had this whole article about how upset they were about it. Well, they later updated that and now are saying that California Senate Appropriations Committee has passed AB 1127 out of the suspense file, which means it is now at the Senate floor for a vote. It is one vote away, as they say, from the governor's desk. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind here is that this is just one source. I've checked LegalScan, I checked the California State Senate website. I have not seen anything that has updated AB 1127 as showing it out of the suspense file. But like I said before, Mom's Demand and these types of groups typically have eyes on these bills when they're being voted on, so they will know before we ever find out that there's been an update through one of these different sites, right? These sites usually get updated at midnight. The information is available the next day. If it's a weekend, it might not even be updated until Monday. Now, as somebody who's sat and watched pretty much all of the Assembly and Senate committee hearings on this bill, I can tell you right now that there's just not enough resistance to be able to stop it. Pretty much everybody on the left supports it. It's got multiple sponsors and co-sponsors, and everybody on the right opposes it. But in California, the left has a super majority. So there's just not enough voices on the right in the California State Legislature to be able to stop it. So if they want this one to go through, it's unfortunately going to go through. The only hope that we have is that maybe there'll be a lawsuit that'll be filed immediately and we can get an injunction enforced so that it won't actually take effect. But with the California court system and the way that that works, that's kind of unlikely as well. So this could be a really bad situation for people in the state of California, and something that we need to watch out for. Now, obviously, I'm going to pay attention to LegalScan and the other websites that show the updates on these bills so that I can see what exactly happens, moving forward, and so that we can have multiple sources saying the same thing. But for now, we have this one source that we know was there saying that it has passed out of the suspense file, and I wanted to update you guys on that because, again, this is really big news. This is the #1 brand in the entire country, if not the entire world, and more than likely in the state of California as well, where they're stuck to the Gen 3s, but at least they can get something that doesn't have a lot of the stupid features that are being forced on new things that come to the roster. So anyway, I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. I'll keep you updated on, what's going on and any new dates that we might have, Senate vote dates and stuff like that, and we'll just stay on top of it. But I wanted to jump in front of the camera and let you know what's being said right now. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.